Yo, what's good, guys? It's Austin here, or Luna. So today's story time, in my opinion, is a pretty funny one and a pretty ridiculous one. It happened right before I left high school, and it's about one of my high school teachers. I think you guys would enjoy hearing about this. If you do, leave a like on the video. And before we jump into it, I just want to say, my bad for not uploading the last 5 days. I've been in the studio every single day the last 11 days, finishing up some music for you guys that's coming out very soon. So yeah, get hyped for that if you want more music. And anyway, let's jump into today's story time. So, today's story time is about a teacher, in specific, this guy teacher I had on the last year of my high school career. Let's just call him Mr. Douglas, okay? Mr. Douglas was a cool teacher for most of my high school career. I knew about him even before I had his class. So in the previous years, before I was even old enough to be in his classroom, I've seen him around and I would talk to him from time to time. He was always a really nice guy. And when it came time to actually have his class, he was really cool. And then everything changed when Mr. Douglas found out I did YouTube. Really, my whole world changed the day that everybody found out that I did YouTube. It kind of happened overnight. So I was getting very successful on YouTube at this time. It was happening very quickly, and more people were finding out. But then one day, this kid, let's just call him Eric, went in front of my whole class and pulled up my YouTube channel. And guess whose classroom it was in? Mr. Douglas's class. So yeah, 30 kids and Mr. Douglas himself found out on the smartboard that I was a YouTuber. And I had to sit there through all of it. And the whole time I kept telling my friend, dude, don't pull my YouTube channel up, don't do it. And he just did it. And from that point on, my entire life at school changed. I'm not even being dramatic. I'm going to tell you about it right now. So immediately after my friend Eric pulled up my videos in front of the whole class, my actual classroom of kids actually didn't even care. They thought that the videos were funny and they liked them. But Mr. Douglas, he had a whole different approach to this. That day, that same day that he found out about my YouTube channel, he made me stay after class so he could talk to me about my videos. That's literally what he said. He was like, Austin, I gotta see you after class. I want to talk to you about your YouTube. And the entire classroom and me thought that I was in trouble. I thought that I was fucking dead. I was like, great. He's about to yell at me. He's about to tell my parents I need to not do this anymore. He's going to say that the videos are inappropriate. I'm done. So I stayed after class waiting to talk to Mr. Douglas. And he comes up to me. He's like, hey, Austin, so I want to talk to you about your YouTube channel today. And I was like, yeah, what's up? He goes, your videos, they're funny, man. I got to say, they're funny. I was cracking up in class when I was watching them earlier. I was like, wait, what? He's like, yeah, man, I can't lie. They're funny. And I should have known the fact that he was complimenting me should have been a red flag. I should have known that the next question would probably be something that was ridiculous. And sure enough, it was. He goes, so I don't know if you know this, but I do YouTube as well. And I was like, wait, what? He goes, yeah, I do YouTube as well. I was like, Mr. Douglas, you, my teacher, you make YouTube videos. About what? He goes, they're commentary videos like yours, except mine's more like a podcast. I was like, you have a fucking podcast? He's like, whoa, watch your mouth. But yeah, I do. And I was like, I'm sorry. This is just a shock to me. What do you talk about? He's like, oh, I talk about teaching methods and teaching techniques. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. What's your name? I'll look you up. Now, obviously, I didn't give a fuck about teaching methods. I wasn't ever going to be a teacher. But I wanted to look up Mr. Douglas and see what kind of videos he made and see how he acted on camera. I also wanted to see if he did the videos with anybody else or if it was just him solo. I was just intrigued. I wanted to see my teacher on YouTube. And he goes, well, yeah, that's what I want to talk to you about. I want to give you my link and see if you'd shout it out on your channel. And I was like, wait, what? He's like, yeah, a shout out. That'd be awesome. I was like, Mr. Douglas, I don't think you understand. My subscribers, my followers, they don't really care about teaching techniques. Not to sound rude or anything. I'm sure there's an audience out there for, your stuff. But my audience is not the audience you're looking for. Trust me, it's not the people you want watching your videos. He's like, well, what do you mean? They're students. I want the students to watch me and see that there's good teachers out there. Maybe they can learn something from my videos about teachers. And I was like, hey, Mr. Douglas, I totally understand that. I'm just saying, I don't really think my audience would really like that very much. And plus, I don't really do shout-outs. I never really shout anybody out just because I don't usually do that type of stuff. Nothing against you. It's nothing personal. I just think that my audience isn't really what you're looking for. You'd probably benefit from a more adult audience. My audience is younger. And he's like, Austin, if you don't want to do it, just tell me. And I was like, okay, I don't want to do it. He goes, thank you. That's all I wanted. And his immediate mood, the way he was talking to me and everything, just immediately did a complete 180 switch. He immediately, hated me. He just seemed so rude. And he goes, okay, you can leave my class now, Austin. Have a great day. I was like, Mr. Douglas, I don't want you to be mad at me. Like, it really isn't anything personal. I just don't like doing shout outs. And plus, if I did give you a shout out, I'm not sure it would go how you expect. He goes, it's okay, Austin. I totally understand. You can leave. I was like, all right, man, have a great day. So I leave. And I could just tell he was pissed at me. I could tell that from that day forward, Mr. Douglas would probably not be very nice to me because I didn't want to give him a shout out. But I just couldn't fucking believe that my own teacher was asking me for a YouTube shout out. Like, it's one thing if a kid comes up to me from, like, my school. He's like, hey, man, can you shout out my SoundCloud? Like, I just dropped this new song. It's fucking dope. But no, this dude came up to me, my fucking teacher, Mr. Douglas, held me after class and was like, hey, man, I make teacher podcast content, Mr. Austin. Want to do a shout out? Okay, that's obviously not how he said it, but you know what I mean. It was just ridiculous. Sadly, it doesn't end there. It gets a whole lot fucking worse. So the next day I walk into school and I go about my day, and it comes time for Mr. Douglas's class, and I was 1 minute late. The bell rang and I was 1 minute late to his class. And I walked in, and I can't lie to you guys, I was late to Mr. Douglas's class almost every day, and he never cared. He was like the one teacher that never gave a fuck. But of course, the day after that I declined his shout out request, I walk into class late, and he immediately hands me a detention slip. And I was like, what's this? He goes, what's it look like? It's a detention slip. I was like, Mr. Douglas, you never give anybody detention for being late. I'm late almost every day. He goes, yeah, it's a problem. You need to stop doing that. I was like, Mr. Douglas, a bunch of other people were late today too, not just me. Like, why am I getting the slip? He goes, I didn't see anybody else walking late, just you. I was like, sir, with all due respect, I can see 3 chairs right now that are empty, meaning those 3 kids aren't even here yet. They're later than me. When they walk in, are they going to get a slip? He goes, yeah, probably, if I see them. I was like, okay, whatever. So I take the detention slip and I go to my desk and I sit down. And then guess what? Those 3 kids walk in at the same time, like 2 minutes late or 3 minutes late. And guess who sees them? Mr. Douglas. He watches them walk in late. He nods his head, he smiles, and he tells them to take their seats. And guess what he doesn't do? He doesn't give them a detention slip. So I got pissed. I stood up. I was like, what the fuck, Mr. Douglas? Like, pardon my language, but like, you're being biased as fuck right now. Like, you give me a detention slip and not the 3 people that were even later than me. And don't get me wrong, I wasn't trying to get these kids detention. I didn't care about them getting detention or not. I just couldn't believe that I was the only one that got detention. Because the reason was obvious. He was salty that I didn't give him a fucking shout out. So I said that. I was like, you're just mad that I didn't give you a shout out. Now you're playing favorites against me. Like, that's just not cool. You're really, really lame for that. And he got real pissed, not only because I swore at him, but because I exposed the fact that he had a YouTube channel to all of the students. Like, right after I said that, everybody spoke up and was like, wait, what? You have a YouTube channel? Mr. Douglas, you do YouTube? And yeah, I told everybody. I was like, yeah, he does do YouTube. He has a podcast. It's about teaching techniques and like what you should do if you're a teacher and stuff. And Mr. Douglas was real mad at me. He stood up. He goes, Austin, go to the main office right now. I was like, for what? He goes, you're causing a disturbance. You're disturbing the peace of my class. Get upstairs now. And I was like, okay, sounds good. So I walked out of there. I walked up to the main office. I sat down with my principal. My principal asked me why I was up there. I told my principal everything. I basically just said that Mr. Douglas has a YouTube channel and he's mad that I won't give him a shout out and now he's playing favorites against me. And my principal was like, wait, what? Mr. Douglas does YouTube? And I told my principal about it as well. And about 20 minutes later, Mr. Douglas called me back downstairs to class, to which I went down there. I finished out class with him, and then as I was trying to leave and walk out the door, of course, he holds me back. He goes, Austin, stay back for a second. I have to talk to you. So I stop, I turn around, I stay back again after class, and Mr. Douglas goes, listen, what you did today was wildly inappropriate. I was like, Mr. Douglas, I totally get it. If you want to give me detention because I'm late, that's fine. But the fact that you didn't give anybody else detention, just me, is an obvious indication that you're just mad because I won't shout out your YouTube channel and now you're just playing favorites. I don't fuck with that. I don't like that. That's not cool. Like, pardon my language again, but like, that's just bullshit. He's like, all right, listen, I don't want to have to give you another detention, so let's just leave it at this. Stop swearing at me and be on time from now on and you won't get a detention slip ever again. Sounds good? I was like, whatever. He goes, all right, have a great day, Austin. And I walked out of there. And for the rest of the year, I shit you not, up until I dropped out of school, that dude gave me bad grades. He was super mean to me. He used to be so nice, and then he was always mean to me after that. And he always played favorites against me. Like, I'd be late, I get detention. Someone else walks in late, they don't get it. He yells at me for being on my phone. He won't yell at my friend next to me for being on his phone. It was just a whole fucking year of bullshit. So yeah, moral of this story is, don't pick favorites when it comes to human beings. You know, be nice, treat everyone equally. And if you do YouTube, just keep grinding. Your time will come. Don't ask your students for shoutouts if you're a teacher and watching this and name Mr. Douglas. If you're watching this, Mr. Douglas, I hope your YouTube's taking off. I haven't checked it in a while. I'm going to go check it right after I upload this video. Maybe I'll shout you out one day. Just kidding. No, I'm not. Anyway, guys, that's pretty much it for today's story time. If you did enjoy it, please leave a like on the video. I'd really appreciate it. Feel free to leave your story times in the comments down below. And subscribe if you're new. I'll see you all later. Peace.
In the night you be wanting to fight. When I pull up you see it's like, oh shit. Cut all these ties cause they plan my demise. They all snakes and I think it's been showing. I got some issues, they haunting me daily. I'm losing my